Good morning, students. Today I am explaining a lesson for SSLC second language English medium students. The title of this lesson is A Hero. A hero. You know the meaning of that hero. This is written by a famous writer, R.K. Narayan. He was elected to the Rajya Sabha, or we can say that he was an MP or member of parliament. In this story, he has given a description of a small boy who became a hero by accident. So firstly, I am explaining this story in brief. After that, I will explain by reading. I will take the textbook and after that again I will explain. So firstly, I am going to tell the content or brief story of this lesson, A Hero. In this story, there was a boy, small boy. He was studying in 7th standard, but he always felt some fear, and moreover, he used to sleep near his grandmother's. He always slept near his grandmother. One day, his father was reading a newspaper. At that time, he saw a news, he came across, or he saw a news. The news was about a small village lad or village boy who faced with a tiger in a jungle. He was very brave, and that small boy faced with a tiger in a jungle. So when the father saw that news, he called his son, Swami, and just he told, "What is your opinion about this boy, this village lad? He fought with a tiger. Can you say anything?" The boy or Swami told that, "No, I won't believe it, because sometimes he must be a grown-up man. A small boy cannot fight with a tiger, so I can't believe it. It is wrong." So there was a dispute with the father and the Swami. Anyway, father told that, "You should prove your courage. You should prove your courage." Again, Swami told that small boy could not fight with a tiger, so I won't believe. Father told, "No, boy, that physical strength is not a matter. Physical strength is not a matter. You should have some courage. Courage is more important than physical strength. So you should prove your courage today by sleeping alone in my office room. Usually you used to sleep always with your grandmother. So your grandmother has already shown more affection or so much affection to you. So you were brought up by the over affection of your grandmother. It is not good for your future life." So the father was very strong, and father told that you should sleep in the office room today. Alone. You should sleep alone. Swami tried to deviate that conversation. He said some other things. He wanted to deviate that subject of conversation. But father was very stubborn, or he was very stern, very strong. He told that, "No, you should obey. Today you should sleep alone in my office room." After that, Swami took his bed and pulled a shawl or bed sheet and covered his face. He pretended that he was sleeping. He snored and he tried to pretend as he was sleeping. Father understood this matter and he told that, "Swami, you get up. Don't do this kind of play." Three or four times he called, and after that Swami got up and he told, "You come, you follow me." So Swami followed his father, and father told that you should sleep in my office room. Then Swami told, no, father, because there are so many scorpions in your office room. So you please allow me to sleep in the hall. Moreover, Swami's mother also pleaded. Swami's mother also pleaded or requested his father to allow him to sleep in the hall. But father did not yield, or father did not agree. By force, he told Swami, you should sleep today in the office room, in my office room. And moreover, he did not allow to burn a lamp, but he gave permission to open that door. The door was not shut, it was opened. So Swami began to enter in that room. Then he started sleeping. So as it grew darker and darker, Swami's heart began to beat, because he was always afraid of devils and ghosts. He had heard many stories from his friends before, so his mind was completely filled with horror. He always thought about the devil and the ghost, so he was afraid. So anyway, when it became darker and darker, his heart began to beat. Then nightmares, many. He was filled with a nightmare. Nightmare means very fearful dreams. So he was drummed. He was drummed that he was chased by a tiger. He got a dream, or he was drummed that he was chased by a tiger. A tiger was following him. So Swami was frightened. He was frightened. So he tried. He thought that I am hearing the sound of that tiger, because I am hearing the claw of that tiger, and that claw is using to scratch. So he thought that before tearing me, I will pull that tiger and I will try to bite that tiger. Otherwise, he thought that my life is ended. This is my last minute of my life. Anyway, before attacking me, I would attack him. He tried to bite that tiger. So immediately he heard a loud thud or loud sound. So it fell down in the midst of that furniture. So a big noise was appeared. By hearing that sound, his father, servant, some others came there, and they saw that a burglar, notorious burglar, was laying on the floor, and there was bleeding. There was a bleeding because Swami has already bitten that thief or burglar. So this is the content of that story. So yesterday police came and the police praised the Swami, and moreover he advised to join in the police after that course. Next day when Swami reached the school, he was congratulated by the principal. The principal told that he is the true, or he is the symbol of, or he is the true scout leader. That is the spirit of scout leader. And he was showered with praising or congratulation. Swami was showered with praising or congratulation. So he became a hero. Even though he did not do it deliberately, even though everything was done by accident, he became a hero. That is the inner, or that is the inner meaning, or that is the essence of this story. So on that day, Swami's father came back from the club at night. On that day also, Swami was sleeping with his grandmother. Father told, you are showing more affection to this boy, so you should not blame me in future if his life is spoiled. You should not blame me. You should not blame me in future, because you are responsible. You are giving more affection to your boy, your son. It is not a good habit. Anyway, you should not blame me in future if his life is spoiled. That is the content of this story. I will read now, and after that I will explain. If you have any doubt after the lesson, you can make comments, and you will get notes also after a few days. All of you take your note. For Swami, events took an unexpected turn. Father looked over the newspaper he was reading under the hall lamp. Said, Swami, listen. News has been received about the bravery of a village lad who, while returning home by the jungle path, came face to face with a tiger. Swami was called by his father. His father was reading a newspaper. He saw a news about that village boy. That the news was that a village boy or small village lad fought with a tiger. So it shows the bravery. It shows the bravery or courage of that village boy. So in order to hear that thing, in order to explain that courage, father called Swami and told, what is your opinion? The paragraph described the fight the boy had with the tiger and his flight up with the tree where he stayed half a way. Where he stayed half day till some people came that way and killed the tiger. So he waited, he stayed in the tree for half an hour, and others also came. Till that time he waited. It shows the courage of the village lad or village boy. After reading it through, father looked at Swami fixedly and asked, what do you say to that? Swami said, I think he must have been a very strong and grown-up person, not a boy at all. How could a boy fight a tiger? He told, no, he must have a grown-up man. Otherwise, a boy can't fight with a tiger. I can't believe. You think you are wiser than the newspaper? Father sneered. He sneered in a, but he did not accept his words in a mocking manner or in a temper with anger. He told that you are thinking that you are the wisest person, you are the wisest boy in this world. A man may have the strength of an elephant and yet be a coward, whereas another may have the strength of a straw, but if he has courage, he can do anything. Courage is everything. Strength and age are not important. So father said that physical strength is not important. Physical strength, courage is more important than physical strength. Swami disputed the theory. How can it be, father? Suppose I have all the courage, what would I do if a tiger should attack me? Then Swami disputed, Swami engaged, father, if a tiger is coming and attacking me, I am a small boy, how can I fight? Leave alone strength. Can you prove you have courage? Let me see if you can sleep alone tonight in my office room. Okay, we can leave that subject. But you should prove your courage today. You should sleep in the office room, in my office room tonight. A frightful proposition, a frightful proposition. Swami thought he had always slept beside his granny in the passage, and any change in this arrangement kept him trembling and awake all night. He hoped at first that father was only joking. He mumbled weakly, that means said in a low voice without understanding clearly. He mumbled weakly, yes, and tried to change the subject. He said very loudly and with a great deal of enthusiasm, we are going to admit even elders in our cricket club hereafter. We are buying brand new bats and balls. Our captain has asked me to tell you. Swami tried to deviate that subject, but Swami told, Father, we have already changed our ball and our bat. Our captain is also changed. They told about you. But Swami's father did not yield. Swami's father understood the clever idea of Swami. He did not surrender. Well, see about that later. Father cut him. You must sleep alone hereafter. Swami realized that the matter had gone beyond his control. From a challenge, it had become a comment. He knew his father's tenacity at such moments. So he understood. Father took it as a challenge. Swami understood that father will not leave. Moreover, he understood that father took it as a challenge. From the first of next month, I will sleep alone, father. You please give me some time, father. I will sleep in your room in first of next month. No, you must do it now. It is disgraceful sleeping beside granny or mother like a baby. You are in the second form and I don't like the way you are being brought up, he said, and looked at his wife who was rocking the cradle. That means just moving to and fro. That's called as rocking. Move gently to and fro is called rocking. Why do you look at me while you say it? She asked. I hardly know anything about the boy. No, I don't mean you, said father. If you mean your mother is spoiling him, tell her so and don't look at me, she said and turned away. So when father was saying all these things, Swami's mother was standing there, and at that time father got angry and told, why, what you are looking? Mother replied, no, I did not do anything. I am not responsible. So father told, no, I am not saying about you. You tell your father not to show over affection to this boy. If you are showing over affection, this boy's life will be spoiled. So you should not blame me. Swami's father sat gloomily, gazing at the newspaper on his lap. Swami rose silently and tiptoed to his bed in the passage. Granny was sitting up in her bed and remarked, boy, are you already feeling asleep? Don't you want to hear a story? Swami made wild gesticulation to silence his granny, but that good lady saw nothing. So Swami threw himself on his bed and pulled the blanket over his face. Swami's father sat gloomily, gazing at the newspaper on his lap. Swami rose silently and tiptoed to his bed in the passage. Granny was sitting up in her bed and remarked, boy, are you already feeling sleepy? Don't you want to hear a story? Swami made wild gesticulation to silence his granny, but that good lady saw nothing. So Swami threw himself on his bed and pulled the blanket over his face. So after saying these things, father began to read his reading. He was again reading newspaper. In the meanwhile, what Swami did, Swami took his bed and he pulled that blanket, and after that he covered his face. Then he pretended, he snored, he started snoring. He pretended that he was sleeping. Granny said, don't cover your face. Are you really very sleepy? Swami leaned over and whispered, please, shut up, Granny. Don't talk to me and don't let anyone call me, even if the house is on fire. If I don't sleep at once, perhaps I shall die. He turned over and curled and snored under the blanket till he found his blanket pulled away. So Granny told, what boy, you don't want to hear a story? I will tell you a story. Swami replied that, please don't call me. I am feeling sleep. So even if there is fire, you should not awake me, you should not call me. I am feeling sleep and I am going to sleep. He just acted. Presently his father came and stood over him. Swami, get up. He said, he looked like an apparition, that means a ghost apparition in the semi-darkness of the passage, which was lit by a cone of light from the hall. Swami stared and groaned. Stared means moved, stared and groaned as if in sleep. Father said, get up, Swami. Granny pleaded, why do you disturb him? Get up, Swami, said father for the third time, and Swami got up. So father came. He saw that Swami was sleeping. Swami was acting like sleeping. He called, Swami, you get up. At that time Granny told, why you should disturb that boy? He is sleeping. Get up, Swami. Again father told. Father rolled up his bed. He took that bed, took it under his arm and said, come with me. Swami looked at Granny. Hesitate hesitated for a moment and followed his father into the office room. On the way, he threw a look of appeal at his mother and said, "Why do you take him to the office room? He can sleep in the hall, I think." So Sami was taken by his father to sleep in the office room. At that time, grandmother made a comment. Grandmother told, "Why you are taking this boy to the office room? Let him sleep in the hall. Why you are so particular that he should sleep in the office room?" "I don't think so," father said, and Swami slunk behind him. Slunk means moving fast, moving slowly. That is called this slunk behind him with bowed head. Swami did not say anything. He followed gently with his father. "Let me sleep in the hall, father." Swami pleaded. "Your office room is very dusty and there will be scorpions behind your law books. Father, you please allow me to sleep in the hall because your office room is completely filled with scorpions. It will bite me." "There is no scorpions, little fellow. Sleep on the bench if you like. Can I have a lamp burning in the room?" He just requested, "Father, can I burn a lamp?" "No, you must learn not to be afraid of darkness. It is only a question of habit. You must cultivate good habit. You should cultivate good habit because you should not lamp. You should not fire lamp because there should not be any lamp. I won't allow you to light lamp. You should cultivate some good habit. You should show some courage. Will you at least leave the door open? Can I open that door? All right. But promise you would not roll up your bed and go to your granny's side at night. If you do it, I will make you the laughing stock of your school." Sami's father told that, "Okay, you can open the door, but one thing you should give me a promise. You should not go to your grandmother's side. You should not go and you should not sleep with your grandmother. If you are doing it, definitely tomorrow I will come to your school and I will say everything to your friends. You will become a laughing stock in your school. So don't do such things." Swami felt cut off from humanity. He was pained and angry. He did not like this strain of cruelty he saw in his father's nature. He hated the newspaper for printing the tiger story. He wished that the tiger had not spared the boy, who did not appear to be a boy after all, but a monster. Swami left cut off from humanity. He was pained and angry. He did not like this strain of cruelty he saw in his father's nature. He hated the newspaper. Swami thought, what newspapers, what news is given in that newspaper? What rubbish thing that boy did. I am hating that boy and I am hating that news also. As the night advanced and the silence in the house deepened, his heart beat faster. He remembered all the stories of devils and ghosts he had heard in his life. How often his chammani has been the devil in the banyan tree at his street end. And what about the poor Muniswami's father who spat out blood because the devil near the river's edge slapped his cheek when he was returning home late one night, and so on. And on his thought continued, he was faint with fear. A ray of light from the street lamp strayed and cast shadows on the wall. Through the stillness, all kinds of noises reached his ears: the ticking of the clock, rustle of trees, snoring sounds, and some vague night insects humming. He covered himself so completely that he could hardly breathe. Every moment he expected the devils to come up to carry him away. There was the instance of his old friend in the fourth class who suddenly disappeared and was said to have been carried off by a ghost to Siam or Nepal. As the night advanced and the silence in the house deepened, his heart began faster. He remembered all the stories of devils and ghosts as he had heard in his life. Swami heard many stories about the ghost and devil from his friends. They told many stories of devil. He understood, he heard from his friends that some ghost, they had killed some people before. So he was completely filled with horror. So when it grew darker and darker, his heart began to beat fast. At night advanced and silence in the house deepened. His heart began faster. He remembered all the stories of devils and ghosts he had heard in his life. How often his chum Mani had the devil in the banyan tree at his street end, and talked about the poor Muniswami's father. Muniswami's father, he heard that Muniswami's father was already killed by a devil who spat out blood because the devil near the so Muniswami's father was completely torn by a devil, and finally he died. So such stories, he remembered such stories at night. He was faint with fear. A ray of light from the street lamp stayed in the cast shadows on the wall. Through the stillness, all kinds of noises reached his ears: the trickling of the clock, rustle of trees, snoring sounds, and some vague night insects humming. He covered himself so completely that he could hardly breathe. Every moment he expected the devils to come up to carry him away. There was the instance of his old friend in the fourth class, who suddenly disappeared and was said to have been carried off by a ghost, Siam or Nepal. He also heard another story from his friend. One person was taken by this devil and he died in Nepal. That story was also kept in his mind. Swami hurriedly got up and spread his bed under the bench and crouched there. It seemed to be a much safer place, more compact and reassuring. He shut his eyes tight and encased, that means covered himself in his blanket once again, and unknown to himself fell asleep, and in sleep was racked with nightmares. So Swami tried to sleep under that bench because of fear. Swami thought that it is better to sleep under that bench because of his fear. His mind was filled with horror. His mind was filled with fear of ghosts and devils. Many sounds he heard, humming sounds, and many other noises also he heard. He shut his eyes tight and encased himself in his blanket once again, and unknown to himself fell asleep, and in sleep was racked with nightmares. He was filled. He had dreamed. He got many dreams, or he had a dreamed nightmare. Many dreams, many nightmares. Many nightmares appeared in his dream. Nightmare, that means a fearful dream, is called nightmare. Swapna, nightmare. Fearful or dreadful. And Kannada will say swapna or nightmare. Fearful dream is called a nightmare. So nightmare appeared in his dream. That means he dreamed that a tiger was following him. A tiger was chasing him. It was his dream. His feet struck to the ground. He desperately tried to escape, but his feet would not move. He thought that a tiger is following me. It is better to escape from this place. He tried to move, but he could not. A tiger was chasing me, or tiger was following me. His feet struck to the ground. He was unable to go from that place. He desperately tried to escape. But his feet would not move. He was unable to move from that place because of fear. He was completely shivered with fear, trembled with fear. The tiger was at his back, and he could not hear his claws scratch the ground. He heard the scratching sound, claws scratching on the ground, scratching on the surface part of the ground, claw of that tiger. That is nail, it's called as claw. Just like a sharpened nail is called a claw. Claws like a tiger. So that tiger was scraping to the ground. He heard that scraping sound, or claws scratch the ground, scratch, and then a loud thud. After that, a sudden sound also heard. Swami tried to open his eyes, but his eyelids would not open, and the nightmare continued. Swami tried to open his eyes, It threatened to continue forever. Swami groaned in despair. At that time, he groaned. That means he was completely filled with fear, and lastly he tried to escape from that place, but he could not. Then it threatened to continue forever. Swami groaned in despair. Just like what is a small sound which you are making. It's called as groaning, small sound. With a desperate effort, he opened his eyes. Swami opened his eyes. He put his hand out to feel his granny's presence at his side, as was his habit. But he only touched the wooden leg of the bench. At that time, he was trying to go to his granny's side. Swami, due to fear, tried to go to his granny's side. So when he was trying to go to his granny's side, he touched something. It was a wooden leg. He put his hands out to feel his granny's presence at his side, as was his habit. But he only touched the wooden leg of the bench. He touched the wooden leg of the bench, and his lonely state came back to him. He sweated with fright. He was completely sweated. You know that when you are feeling fear, sometimes you will feel sweat. So that some kind of moisture is called as sweat. And now what was this rustling? That means it is a soft sound is called rustling. He moved to the edge of the bench and started into the darkness. Something was moving down. He heard some small sound. He understood that something is creeping. So at that time, he moved to the edge of the bench and stared into the darkness. Something was moving down. He saw that something is coming towards him. He lay gazing at in horror. His anxiety. He thought that no, I cannot. My life is ended. Something is coming to kill me or chase me. His end had come. He realized that the devil would presently pull him out and tear him. And so why should he wait? As it came nearer, he crawled out from the under the bench, hugged it with all his might, and used his teeth on it like a mortal weapon. He thought that before tearing, that tiger is coming. Anyway, the tiger will kill me. Before tearing me, it is better to pull that tiger and kill him. So Swami hugged that creature, and he tried to bite that creature. Ayyo, something has bitten me. Went forth and agonized the thundering cry, and was followed by a heavy tumbling and falling amidst the furniture. In a moment, father, cook and servant came carrying light. So Swami tried to bite that creature, the tiger. So what happened? They heard a cry, Ayyo, something has bitten me. Went forth and agonized, a painful. After that, firstly they heard a cry, Ayyo. Then a painful cry they heard. That means an agonized thundering cry, and was followed by a heavy tumbling and falling amidst furniture. What happened? After that loud noise, it fell down. It fell down in the midst of that furniture. It fell down amidst of that furniture. In a moment, father, cook and servant came in carrying light. So when others heard, it was night. So this was very loud noise also. So when others heard, father, cook and moreover servant came to that place. And all of the three fell on the burglar who lay amidst the furniture with a bleeding angle. When they came, they saw that the notorious burglar was laying in the ground with the bleeding angle. Bleeding was there. Why bleeding happened? Because Swami has already bitten. As a last resort, congratulations were showered on the Swami's next day. His classmates looked at him with respect, and his teacher patted his back. The master said that he was a true scout. Swami had bitten into the flesh of one of the most notorious housebreakers of the district, and the police were grateful to him. So in the next day, when Sami went to school, all others, congratulations were showered. All others praised Sami. Principal praised and all others praised. Police came, police congratulated, and police told that the person whom was bitten by Sami was a notorious burglar in that city. The police wanted to take that person, but they did not get it. Anyway, Sami did that thing. So they praised Sami. The inspector said, "Why don't you join the police when you are grown up?" The inspector told him, "Sami, you are very brave. You are very courageous man, very courageous boy. So why can't you join the police after your education?" Sami had, for the sake of politeness, certainly yes, though he had quite made up his mind to be an engine driver, a railway guard, or a bus conductor later in life. Even though Sami said yes, his real aim was not to become a police, he liked to become an engine driver. When he returned home from the club that night, father asked, "Where is the boy?" So father came at night. He inquired about the boy or son. He is asleep already. He did not have a wink of sleep the whole of last night, said his mother. Mother told that yes, he has already slept because yesterday night he could not sleep even a single minute. "Where is he sleeping?" "In his usual place," mother said casually. "He went to bed at 7:30. So, where is he? I want to see that son." Mother told that at 7:30 he started sleeping because yesterday he could not sleep properly. Sleeping beside his grannies again, father said, "No wonder. He wanted to be asleep before I could return home. Clever boy," father suggested. "He's very clever boy because he started sleeping before my arrival. He's very clever." Much lost her temper. "You let him sleep where he likes. You need not risk his life again," father mumbled as he went. That is saying a small voice is called mumbling. As he went into the change, "All right, mollycoddle," and mollycoddle means mollycoddle, to show over affection. That is called mollycoddle. Father told, "You are showing mollycoddle to your son. You should not show over affection to your son. It will create adverse effect. It will spoil his future." Mother lost her temper. "You let him sleep where he likes. You need not risk his life again," father mumbled as he went into change. "All right, mollycoddle and spoil him as much as you like. Only don't blame me afterwards." Mother told that yesterday he could not sleep properly. So you please don't disturb. Let him sleep where he likes. Yesterday he obeyed you. So what happened? He was unable to sleep properly. So today you please don't disturb him. Let him sleep where he likes. Mother lost her temper. "You let him sleep where he likes. You need not risk life again," father mumbled as he went into change. "All right, mollycoddle and spoil him as much as you like. Only don't blame me afterwards." Sami, following the whole conversation from under the blanket, felt tremendously relieved to hear that his father was giving him up. Sami heard all these things because he did not sleep. Anyway, he heard what mother and father said. So what happened? Sami thought that anyway I got some relief from today onwards because father will not compel me on tomorrow, because everything till this date father compelled me to sleep in that office room and father told me to sleep alone. But now, today onwards I am getting some relief. So it is the content of this story. So if you have any doubt, you can ask, you can make comments. I will give you notes after a few days. So it is ended. The next day I will start the next lesson, second lesson. So you please don't forget to give likes and subscribe. Thank you very much.